Well, good day, nerds. Imagine you're playing RLCraft and you died. Now all your items is there, but there are out of mobs right now. So what you can do is like manually sort and put your item here and there, or you can use the inventory sorting key, which should basically do that. Or imagine if you got hit by the inventory scrambling potion and your stuff is completely messed up. You can just click your inventory start button and it will put everything like you want it to be. Or imagine if you don't particularly agree the way this by default is like by default is sorted, you can also change that. So how do you do that? Well, let's first look how you can put armor here, for example. To do that, go to mod option, in search type inventory, inventory tweaks is here, go to config, uh, go to here, click on the auto equip on, and then click done, and also click auto refill on. What the auto refill does is if you're, for example, fighting infernal mob and you don't have curse of possession on your weapon, then your weapon is going to be stolen by that sticky infernal mob. So if your weapon gets stolen, voila, if you have another weapon, it will automatically go into that hotbar. That's what the uh, auto refill does. But the mod itself says not to use it because it might be banned in multiplayer PvP servers. I'm playing in single player, so I have it on. And now let's look how to make your own rules where stuff is put in your hotbar. So again, go to the inventory tweak mod in the config and then go to the open item tree file and go to the open sorting rules. So if you click that, it will open a txt file. So this is the tree uh, item tree, and let's also open the rules. So these are the rules. By default you would only have d4 locked or d-locked, something like that written over here. So let's go into how to use the rules first, then we'll go into the tree. How does that work? Uh, First you tell location where you want to put something. So all the locations are shown here. So A to C rows are everything which is in your inventory here, and D is your hotbar. So if you want to have something, for example, I have done D1 to C1 is spot occupied by melee weapons, so that is from here to here. If I have melee weapons, they will automatically go there, and those melee weapons also have priority which one goes where. So the first position that you say is the higher position, higher priority position. It will put the higher priority item there. So in D1, the best item that I have is going to go into D1, and then any other item, if it also in the category of melee weapon, it will go into the C1. Similarly, we have D2 to B2, that is for bows. So if you have multiple bows or arrows, if you're going to use the tree that I'm going to provide, then they're going to be sorted. Bow will go here, arrow will go here, because arrow has lower priority than the bow, and so on and so forth. You can make everything that you want to do. But if you will do this just by looking at the video, nothing is going to work, because by default the inventory tweak tree doesn't have the modded items. As you can see, I have made a custom category. It's called custom. By default you would have this stuff. So none of this, as you can see, have any of the modded items. And how do you add those items? Well, to add those items, if you're going to do it by yourself manually, first press F3 plus H. F3 plus H will unlock the tooltips. So if I remove the tooltips right now, as you can see, advanced tooltips hidden. I don't see the durability, nor do I see what item it is. You can see the stuff, equipment, armor, helmet. Well, that is because in the config, in the inventory tweaks, in the config, uh, I went here, the shortcut mapping. Oh, no, not here. I went to. Wait a second. Paste the config button. More options. Alright, it's okay. It's just named incorrectly. That button will open the config, and here I have the enable tooltip 3 paths true. By default, this thing is off. So it will be written false here, just change it to true, then your path will show. That is necessary to see if the item has path or not in the tree that you provided. So yeah, I was going to show how we're going to make stuff. So you did the rules, but none of this stuff is actually available in the tree. How do you make stuff? Well, first you make a category. So a category is made by these special brackets. Here, for example, I want to make a category YouTube video. This is the start of that category, and that category should have an end bracket. So you go what it's called, less than sign, slash, then you type the exactly same thing, and then the more than sign. Now this is a category. In this category you can make other subcategories in the similar process. So here the melee weapon is actually a subcategory, and in the melee weapon I have other stuff from like Spartan weaponry, pike, long swords, or also the vanilla item like sword. So if you want to make, you can make subcategories. And now for the item to work here, so modded item to work here, you go here, not here, you go F3 plus H. It will open advanced tooltips. Now the advanced tooltips, if you have a modded item, for example this glaive, under the attack damage, as you can see, the Spartan weaponry glaive underscore stone. This is your item tag or item ID. You need to add this item ID into that tree. So first we do that. This is a tag. So for tag is a one line thing. It must end where it starts. So it will have that. But this slash is at the end, and everything is at the start. So you first going to name the item that is going to be used here. So for example, if I want to name it glaive GLD, let's call it GLD, and then I need ID for it, ID, and inside of ID you do apostrophes, and here we are going to type exactly the same stuff which is provided by the F3 plus H or the advanced tooltips. So you have to be exactly type correct. If it's lowercase letters, it must be lowercase letters. If it is capital, it must be capital. So here we have Spartan weaponry glaive stone. So we go Spartan weaponry stone collection. It was glaives, I believe. Yeah, glaive stone. glaive stone. Now you have successfully made the tag for this item. So let's go to rules. We'll put that Spartan correction. We'll put this item into our first slot. So let's do GLD. This is the exact same name that was written here. This is your call name for the rules. So if we now go here, throw an item, get it, that will update your inventory to week 3 to show this stuff. And now if I do sort, maybe I did some mistake. Chances are this has lower priority because the custom already has stuff in it. So let's move it to higher priority. Is simply stuff which is above something has higher priority. Spartan weaponry, glaive stone. I don't think I did any mistake writing it. No. And it says GLD. Let's do the update again. We throw an item. We collect the item. And now maybe it's having issue that it's a multiple item stuff. Let's find believe and next. Alright, let's take some different item. Maybe there is issue here because this stuff already exists. So what do I have which doesn't have anything? As you can see here, whenever it says stuff slash underscore uncategorized, it means that this stuff doesn't exist in the current tree. So let's try to add the poll. This is a Spartan fire. We require Spartan weaponry. It's simply called material. Okay. So let's let the GLD be exactly same, and this. Oh, I know what I did mistake. As you can see, here I made it capital, and in the game, as you can see, the Spartan weaponry doesn't have capital in it. So as I said, if you don't make it type correct, it's going to have issues. So let's make it type correct. No, oops, not that. This. Now this will update as soon as I put an item. So let's throw this, pick it up, and sort it. Now as you can see, the glaive goes here, and as you can also see, stuff slash YouTube video slash GLD. We successfully added an item, and I also demonstrated if you don't make it type correct, it's going to have issues. So if you're planning to make your own category for whatever reason, instead of, I'll provide the rules and the tweak tree to download so you can use it as is, because I already done a bit of hard work. And as you can see in custom, I already have melee weapons. Here we have the Spartan weaponry, Spartan fire, and the Spartan defiled, I believe, all of the weapons. uh, let's close that. Shield is empty. We have some ranged weapons, not all of them. I believe the switchbow is not here, and in the melee weapons I still don't have the nunchaku, but I will add the nunchaku later. You can simply just download the link that I'll provide to for the ruin or for the tree. So that is how you make your own rules. And to change the way stuff is sorted here, it is just simple. Just have the item. For example, the ice armor was an early game, so early game is here. I have heating in priority, so if wool armor is there and there's ice armor in the inventory, the ice armor would be below the wool armor. So by having categories, you're just going to provide the required priority that the way it's going to be sorted. Right, that is done. If you are still planning to make your own IDs, this is a lot of manual work, so I've also provided a program which does that for you. So this is an XML generator exe. What it does is it takes an XML output file. Let's open that. We have the XML output file. It will look into this, what you want to generate. So let's remove the generated data already. Uh, it will ignore anything which is under the slash star star slash. This is just a programming way of multi-line text. It will completely ignore, and it will only take items which are in the inside of curly braces. So if I want to generate exactly the same type of categories and tags, what I require to do is write the mod name. The mod name, as you can see here, it is incorrect if we are going to look it over here. So I had the Spartan fire. As you can see, the Spartan fire golden throwing knife under the 7 attack damage is all in the lower cases. Uh, in the txt file it's not, because the program itself will make everything lowercase or remove underscore depending on the situation and generate the XML tags by itself. So what having this capital means is when you're going to make, well, when the program is going to make a name, it will use the mods first to capital letter, so you don't run into issue where you have the same item. For example, rough tweaks has bandage, and the scaling healing also has bandage. These are both mods in the game. The first aid also has bandage. The issue with that is if they all are called bandage in your inventory tweak tree, you will have issue for the program. It just wouldn't know which one to use, even though there's priority here. As you can see, rough tweaks that higher priority than scaling healing, scaling health, and then the first aid, but the mod just has issues. And if you also have some kind of issues, like you didn't finish the tag correctly, like that is incorrect tag because it doesn't have slash at the end, or if you didn't have a correctly closed category like that, then mod will just have issue. It will fail to update this. So this is basically stored on your hard drive, and a similar copy is stored in your RAM. Whenever you launch the game or whenever you throw an item, it will just update everything from the hard drive one. So this hard drive one is incorrect. The mod will go, oh, this is an incorrect entry, I'm not going to update my current file, and it will do nothing when you're playing the game. But when you're going to relaunch the game, the RAM data is completely lost, and when you relaunch the game, the mod will try to load all of this, and if there's any single mistake, the mod will say, oh well, that's incorrect, I'm just going to completely reset it. So it will completely reset the rules. It will completely reset the tweak tree, and it will also completely reset the config file. And all of your progress would be lost. So it's better to have a program which already writes this stuff by itself. So what you do is everything, if you want to create a particular stuff, for example, we're going to recreate the Spartan file, Spartan weaponry, all of the correct tags. So you require to have uh, curly braces. In the curly bracket, you would type mod, and whatever you're going to type mod, for example, YouTube video. This doesn't exist as in the game is that type of mod, but we're just going to see what it's going to do. And items would be like I'm not going to be that corny. Items would be, for example, mouse, keyboard, and tiers would be top tier, bottom tier. I do that, and then you go to the provided folder. Well, this is also going to provide in the link. You go to XML generator exe. It will launch. It's closed already. And if you go to here, the Notepad++ will say this hasn't modified. Do you want to reload it? And you type yes. So what your program does is first it will put all of this inside of uh, multi-line comment. So this would not be again read if you're going to launch the program multiple times. And it will also show when the data was generated, so you don't like mess up or something. As I said before, the mod is used as category, so Spartan file, as you can see, has been used as category, and it will end here, Spartan fire. Then the item itself also has category. It's subcategory, and inside of subcategories there is the tag. So it made Halberd Fire Dragonbone SF. It is named like that because it first uses item name, then it uses the tier that is here, and as you can see from the tier, underscores are missing because it removes the underscore for the naming. And at the end we have all of the capital letters from this mod name, or a shortcut way of calling the mod SF. This is done this way so you don't have collision if you're going to have multiple items from different mod but they're called exactly the same. For the example I provided with the bandages, as you can see I have bandage RT here, rough tweaks, and the bandage SH, scaling heal health, or the first aid bandage FA. In similar manner I have done this. Then the program will generate the ID, so Spartan Fire colon halberd underscore fire underscore dragonbone. Let's look at this item if it exists. So we have Spartan Fire, and we had a halberd. I believe this one we had Spartan Fire, halberd fire, dragonbone. And the attack damage, Spartan Fire colon halberd underscore fire dragonbone. So there we go. If you want to generate anything, you just do the correction, the curly braces, you type mod, and you type items, and you type tiers. All of these are required. Tiers you can ignore that. You can just have empty stuff, it doesn't really matter. Mod. So let's try to generate data for what? Let's try to generate data. Yeah, how about rough tweaks? Let's try to generate rough tweaks. So rough tweaks has 5 items. So you will go rough tweaks. We first add the mod name. So rough As you can see, I'm not really typing the weights in the game because the game always has lower cases, and this way we can provide program to have RT in the item name. And then the items, item is self, comma, and we have plaster, plaster, and we have bandage. Well, it's not the end, we also have medikit, medikit, and medikit enchanted. Right, and the tiers can be left as is. Let's put this part in fire and this part in weaponry inside of the multi-line comment and try to generate stuff for this. I don't really have user error handling at the moment, so we might fail, but let's see. Okay, the program launched and closed already. Yes, and the data has been generated. As you can see, the rough tweaks generated a self. We have self RT and ID is rough tweak self. It put the underscore because yeah, I didn't really account for tiers being empty, so it just assumes the empty, this empty stuff is tiers. I might need to fix it a bit, but as you can see, it generates all of this much faster than you would do manually, and then you can use this stuff uh, inside of your in tweak 3. If for example when I'm going to provide this, it doesn't already exist in the custom tag, in the custom category, right? What did I miss? Yeah, let's also look into rules a bit more clearly. As you can see, you can provide either a range from where you want to put something, or you can provide the exact location. I think it's about it.